Ouch. Well, welcome to the podcast, Tehya. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
Um, I'm doing pretty okay. I'm a little tired. I know Cadmiel is also doing okay.
I'm alive.
He's alive.
Fabulous. It's the summer. You need more than alive.
Um,
How's your summer going?
It's pretty good, actually. I mean, nothing too
exotic.
important
Hmm.
is occurring. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Did
my
you do
summer is
anything for the 4th of July? Any
No.
activities yesterday? Okay. What about you, Cadmiel? I didn't ask you.
no. I was in my living room the whole time. I
Ah.
I had a plan and then it got cancelled, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be on my computer, and
Hmm.
I just did some solid work.
Okay.
Like of your own free will, solid work?
Yeah, my own free will. Yes, I put
Hmm.
a gun on my own head and forced me to do solid work.
That is the saddest thing. I'm sorry.
But no,
That's
no,
phrased in a very sad way.
I'm doing like some personal project, and
Yeah.
that was it. That was my 4th of July. I. How about you, Nick?
I did a bunch of things actually,
Wow.
but on the actual day of the fourth, I got up at I think it was 10 o'clock, and then I went over to my dad's house, and we worked on my truck because there's an O2 sensor that's in like the top, very tip top of the whole exhaust pipe. So there's like the exhaust pipe runs from the back of the truck all the way to the front and up into the engine. It's way up at the front at the top. And that needed to be replaced, but the problem is it's really hard to reach with wrenches and stuff. So we basically struggled with it for like a couple hours.
Mhm.
And ultimately kind of failed. And we also went to AutoZone like twice trying to get tools to do the job, and we couldn't do it. So that was fun. But we did that. I cleaned the filter, the air filter on my truck, and then I went and I saw fireworks around 8 o'clock, which was really good. And then I went
I
home.
heard fireworks,
Yeah,
but again, in my neighborhood, you don't know if it's fireworks or just
yeah.
Jeez.
Fireworks is
someone.
a staple. Like if you got to do anything on the 4th of July, you have to go to a fireworks show.
Didn't do fireworks.
It's so sad.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Please do
Fireworks are kind of
something.
boring, though.
Gotta do something. It's a holiday.
We had like a neighborhood thing
Okay,
where we
that's
talked to
that's
our
good.
unknown neighbors for like an hour and a half.
Was it fun?
No, it was awkward.
What?
Yeah, so you've been living here for 1 year, right? Yeah.
No, too.
2 years. Damn.
We
You know,
don't leave our house.
I feel like we got to change the subject to something more positive because
But, I
I'm
mean,
dying.
that's
Hey, I
funny.
played
I'm
video games
choking and
last
dying
night.
over here.
Okay,
No,
that was good.
yeah,
Monster Hunter, anybody? Sunbreak DLC, that was fun.
Mm.
I
Wait,
swear to.
wait, run that by me again. I missed that.
Hmm?
What you just said about a DLC? What's that?
Oh, Monster Hunter Rise did
Ah,
their DLC released, and then I was waiting for one of my friends to get back because I found somebody who plays it. So now I get to play with people.
yeah.
It's
See, I'm
exciting.
sorry. I would want to be able to talk to you about Monster Hunter, and I do have a certain degree of familiarity and respect for the game, but like it's not enough at all. I don't own it, so
I know the game. I've seen the trailers.
mm,
Um, I don't think I bought it. I was a Zelda guy for sure.
yeah.
But
So yeah, I sold my soul to Fire Emblem. That's the only Nintendo franchise I actually care about that much, beyond like Mario
I,
Kart.
is
But
is this like one of those games that's like you have one side on the right, one side on the left, and if you click attacks they can do, and like Pokemon fight type of thing?
It's not far off.
It's sort of like that. Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. You're about half
Sorry.
right.
Sometimes they're around the map, not just on the left.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't get into these games, man. I could not get into these
I
games.
think you could. I would wager you
No,
could.
Hmm.
I
Like
because
knowing you, Cadmiel, I think you could. And
it's like
here's the thing
tactics and
too.
like
I think you're thinking of Fire Emblem in totally the wrong way. Like you're thinking of it kind of like a Pokemon game, but there are a lot of differences between it and like a
you
Pokemon.
have to think a lot and have a tactic in mind, and like that's how I win because I'm smart.
That's kind of your choice, I would say, because it
It
depends
is.
on. Okay,
It is.
I think it depends on the game you get because you can always play on like super easy baby mode in one of the newer games,
Yeah, that's true.
and you probably don't have to think too hard. You know, you can just like send sword guy to go stab axe guy, and you'll be fine. But
I mean, I want to see actions. Like Zelda makes you think, right? But it's also like, oh, I'm walking around and like I touch this and oh, it's not the solution. Okay, I touch that. Oh, it's not the solution. Like that's the kind of
okay,
smart things I do, and I'm like, I feel smarter. Like I'm actually having fun thinking about the solution.
here's what we're gonna do, Camille. I have a lot of Fire Emblem games. One day I'm going to come over there and we're going to run you through some of the prologues of Fire Emblem games.
Oh.
And we can try
Is
to
this
convert
like
you a little bit.
is this a game where there's gonna be a map and I have to move character around?
Yes.
Okay,
So
no,
Mhm.
there's
no.
like a tile based map.
You can try it. Just try it. Just
Yeah,
try it.
just try it. Just try it. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'll
don't like
not
this
take you
game.
down to the chair with the controller in your hand. Tell you to
We can start you off easy.
yeah.
Awakening maybe.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good start.
Awakening is a good
Gosh,
start, right?
no, sir. Thea, what was your first game console?
Ooh, that's a good
I mean,
question.
technically that's the PC, but I mean, realistically, it's the Wii because it's the only thing we could get our parents to buy.
Word. That was my childhood as well.
We gotta beware of the demonic video games. So you gotta ease into it.
That is so how
Yeah,
it worked in my family too. It's like
it's
identical.
my family too as well. How,
Oh my
how old were
god.
you when you get that? You got the Wii, I guess.
Hmm. Third grade, however you are when you're third grade.
Hmm.
Is
I
that
don't know
double
what that
digits or is that single
I don't
digits?
know what that is. Hang on. I think I entered like
Ten,
kindergarten, I
right?
think when I was like 5 or 6,
Yeah.
right?
is.
So you must be like 9 or 10 maybe when you hit third grade.
We'll say double digits.
Okay.
Okay.
My first console, actually, that was okay. We had this game like when we were kids. Like we had this console called the VTech, which is like a game console but for kids. Like it had
Wow.
like ugly games, and it's freaking basic, and it did
Wait,
not
wait,
solve
wait, wait, wait. Can you
Yeah, what
spell
does
that
this look
for
like?
me?
VTech.
Maytag.
V.
Spell it.
It's V
B
Tech.
T
I
E
think that was
K.
the name of the company. Yeah.
VTech game console. Oh, I found it. It's tech like TECH. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Y'all need to see this. This is amazing. I wish there was a way for me to
Oh
screen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
it's horrible.
Oh my god, I remember this. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god. We had so
So
many
funny.
of these.
Tay, I'm saving an image right now to my desktop and I'm gonna send it to you because you need to see this beautiful machine. This butch mechanism.
So like I had the VTech and like we had like I don't even want to. Oh my god! I seen the game. We had like Spider Man for sure. We had a game about soccer. We it was horrible. It was trash.
Great.
And then we got the Wii, And literally on a Christmas, we got it on Christmas and on the Christmas list. Like we put all the consoles, like Nintendo DS, Wii, PlayStation, Xbox, and somehow like they got us the Wii and Mario Kart and Wii Sports and Wii Music, I believe. So
That's a nice start. Okay, we all starting with Wii's.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. All of us are wee kids. It's great.
what was your favorite game on the Wii?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Or tell me three favorite games you had. I had a lot of Wii games. I had 32, I think.
Are you
I
asking me or
I
Taya?
mean, both. Okay, I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
I'll rank first Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That was my favorite game by far.
I'm
Uh,
replaying it now, by the way. I'm almost done.
oh my
Okay.
god.
That is really ridiculous because I was replaying it with my sister Annette earlier this summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
It's such a mood, isn't it? It's
it's
great.
Yeah.
I
So
guys,
positive.
I'm trying to find it, but like when I was a kid, when I was playing Legend of Zelda, I loved it so much. I actually recorded me playing that game, like a let's play, where like I would do the voices for each character
Yeah.
talking, and my little brother was recording me. That was fucking insane, but I lost it.
Wow.
That was my first game. Second game, I would say Epic Mickey, Mikey
Uh-huh.
Mouse. I don't know how you say that.
Yeah,
Epic
Epic
Mickey.
Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I never finished it because I was so scared at the end. But
We had Epic Mickey too, but I never ended up playing that one. I just watched my sister Serena play it all the time.
yes, I love that game too. And a game that I remember enjoying like as a with a group of friends would be Mario Sport Mix, where like you could play volleyball, basketball, and dodgeball and hockey. And like that would be a game like we would play like amongst friends and just have fun. Like we had
Everyone's
it
gonna
was
have that party game, right?
yeah, that was a party game. Like we'll have like three on one team, three on the other team. We had a lot of controllers and it would be just a blast.
Hmm.
How about you guys?
Oh man, it is such a struggle because like at first I was thinking, okay, you got all these like other games that are huge. They're not great games, but they're huge nostalgia kicks for me. And then you mentioned there was like the Zelda games that were on the Wii console, and I was like, oh no, like it's getting so impossible to choose a favorite. Um, Definitely like I didn't play a lot of Twilight Princess, but my sister Serena and Katie, they were huge on it. And it was really fun to watch and also like play a little bit, but I don't know. It hits different when you're able to kind of watch it too. It's like a let's play, but it's people you know and care about. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Tragedy.
yeah, I know. It's bad, but one day I'll go back and return to that, when I actually get the chance. But Skyward Sword, that was a mood. I played all the way through that one. Um, I think one of my favorites on the Wii console that I have to mention that hasn't already been mentioned is Mario Kart Wii. That hit really, really
Yeah,
for me. And I think that might be
runner-up.
because I think that was my first Mario Kart game, like ever.
Me
Um,
too.
and
Yeah.
all of my sisters loved it. I loved it. So that was our party game. Like, we didn't have any of the designated Mario Party titles. We just had Smash Bros. And Mario Kart Wii. Those were our party.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I would say runner-up. Well, for me, fourth would be like Kirby Adventures.
hmm.
That was that
See,
was
I never had any Kirby games. That's
Yeah, I've
all
never played any
beyond.
Kirby games either.
Kirby Adventures. I mean, I bought other Kirby game and they are trash, but this one specifically was like a boot.
Mm.
Yeah.
All
How
right,
about you?
Tay, it's
Yeah.
your turn.
Uh, I gotta put them in like categories. My
Yeah.
favorite nostalgic trip game is probably Endless Ocean, Blue World. because that's why I fell in love with the ocean.
See, now I gotta look that up.
So it's where you just dive around places.
Yeah. Oh, that looks
And
great. That's
you look
great.
at fish, you collect your encyclopedia stuff, and then you like get treasure sometimes. It's fun, it's really chill.
Yeah, it's got kind of a Subnautica vibe.
Yeah,
Only
it's like the Subnautica
right?
before Subnautica existed, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's better. But I also don't know because I've never played Subnautica yet.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
haven't either, so you're all right.
I have to put a Zelda game in there because I'm obligated to. Because the
Mm.
whole list could be Zelda games.
Yeah, I really could.
I'll say Twilight Princess was probably the better Wii Zelda game.
You know, most
Of
people say
Skyward
that.
Sword.
I don't blame them, but
I never played Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword was the first Zelda I played, and I
If
was
it
like,
yeah,
ever comes out on the Switch, you have to play it on the Switch.
I think
I'll be down.
part of why Skyward Sword hits me, I think, harder than Twilight Princess is the nostalgia factor. You know,
It's
like
just
we are
so
talking
In,
about
in
stupid.
the
earlier.
fact that you didn't
It,
actually play Twilight Princess,
that's the thing.
technically speaking.
I did play both, but I think
Yes.
that like at at the age I was playing these games at, I was kind of a pathetic gamer, sort of. Like I was not very potent in my ability to solve puzzles and fight bad guys and do the things that you actually do in a Zelda game, which has since changed. But um, you know, Skyward Sword was more baby mode for me, and I could play it better. So
To me, it was a story, man. Oh my god, the story, like the middle part, like when you passed, like I don't know, the desert for the first time,
yeah,
and like
Lanayru Desert, very good.
yes, when you finish that part, and like Zelda is almost captured, I guess, and she run
Yeah,
Yeah.
from that point to the end, like oh my god, I was like, I was playing every day. I was like, I love this game.
yeah. By far, Lanayru was my favorite spot in the whole game because he had all the mining facilities and stuff, and the pirate ship, and it was
Oh, the
crazy.
pirate ship.
There's all kinds of stuff going on. You know, the pirate ship was awesome. I love that, and
Traveling
the
in
whole like
time and like
yeah, the time mechanic that they had in the game was great.
Jesus Christ, how
Yeah,
are we so good at it? Like you guys, there were like literal stages in the game where like you could travel in time, like go like thousands of years in the past. And like to solve a mystery, you would be like in a place, like in the present time, and it's like ruined. And in order to solve a puzzle, you would like travel in the past to the same place, do something, travel back in the present, and then like do another thing, and then it worked. And you just like who thinks about like that?
yeah.
Like
Like,
that
how do
is
you think of that kind of mechanic?
Game designers who have a
Yeah,
lot of time on their hands and or running on their paycheck. But,
yeah. How about
yeah, the
third?
time shift stone thing is a good mechanic. It doesn't. It's got a little bit of holes in it still, but that's fine.
I'll tell you what I really liked about Twilight Princess was the city in the sky. That thing was creepy.
I loved it.
Yes, I loved it too. I think that's
What
got to
was
be one
that?
of my favorite parts of like being able to
It's
see that and play that a little.
okay, Camille, because you've never seen. You gotta see the inhabitants.
Yes, the inhabitants and
They're something else.
yeah,
Okay. Twilight.
the music in that temple was so unsettling too.
I love
Like
it.
you
I
felt like
listen
you
to
were
it
losing your
sometimes
mind
now.
the whole time. It was great.
The
Okay,
city in
just
the sky.
yeah. I don't know if it's gonna pop up. Scenes.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
most of the temple music of Twilight Princess is actually pretty good
yeah,
to listen to by itself.
yes. No, believe me, I've made
Cicadas.
some playlists
Oh,
with Zelda
you
tracks
said
on.
like someone called Uku or something?
Uh huh.
Yes, yes.
Jesus Christ, what the heck is this?
It's like a
That is,
duck with a human
oh my god. Guys, oh my god. Is this isn't describable. Is this a chicken?
Kind of,
Yeah,
I
It's a
guess.
chicken.
kind of like a
It's
chicken or a duck, but it's got a human head.
yes, and human breast. It like I don't know
Well,
what.
not the second part. It's just kind of normal.
Yeah, I don't remember that second part, but
They would
maybe
never
I'm
Yeah,
be
I
wrong.
able
don't
to
know.
fit that in there.
Okay,
Did you
whatever.
see her son though? Because it's just the head, but floating.
Yes, yes. The sun
What
is so
the-
upsetting.
Oh yes, I think I saw the son somewhere. Like
Watch
I
this
saw,
one.
yeah, definitely art style of that. Look like Soul Eater or something.
This is the kind of thing a psychopath makes.
But yeah, uh, how about your third game? I guess so. Like, are we second game or third game?
Third,
Hmm.
we didn't really do. I mean, we had like the Wii Sports stuff for party games, but what my sister and I really liked playing, I think you could play it together, is the Clone Wars Wii game.
Ooh,
'Cause that was
okay.
really fun.
Wait, you're not talking about a Lego Star Wars title, are you?
No, it's not Lego Star Wars.
I love Lego Star
Yeah,
Wars.
that was good. I had the complete saga for Lego Star Wars, which was
I had
okay.
the DS version, but we never got the Wii version.
Mm, okay.
I had like Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. I had also Lego Pirate of the Caribbean. Like I never
Ooh.
watched Pirate of the Caribbean until I was like 18,
Yeah,
and I literally knew everything about the movie because of the Lego Wii game.
yeah. The
That was
Lego
the
Two
games
only
are
good
good.
movies that, well, okay, the first one is. But
Yeah.
yeah, and
There's
I
a part
prefer
of
the
me.
Lego version.
There's a part of me that realizes though that there are so many younger people like entering college even that do not share these experiences at all. Like it's just right over their head.
Oh yes, the
Because
Wii,
at that point the Wii console just went out the window.
the Wii
the
is
Wii U
old.
was around though.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my god,
yeah.
hard take.
I'm
I
also
love the Wii
assuming that
U.
they don't have like siblings or something that would buy the consoles and play with them. So maybe there is still some overlap there, but I'm worrying because I'm getting old and all my favorite
Yeah, if you
games
play
are
the Wii,
coming.
you are old today. Like I'm
Yeah, not
sorry,
real. Yeah,
you are not. You are probably an adult or something.
yeah, it's horrible. I hate
We're
it.
we're not really adults yet. I mean, like we're adults, but we're
You are not an adolescent.
not.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think you already
shame.
crossed
It's
that
a shame.
bridge. Like you cannot be among adolescents and be like, "What's up, kiddos?" Yeah,
Mhm.
you
I can
probably
still do that technically. Maybe.
we actually just accept you in the group. Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not that, but
Yeah.
could,
See
I can have a
now to find a
conversation.
kid that knows the games that we played, you have to find a retro kid.
okay.
Very long.
What was your second game console after the
Ooh,
Wii?
yeah.
Did you have a handheld console that you could go with? I had the DSi, I had 3DS, and I had. I mean, the Wii U could count as handheld because I played it in my bedroom sometime.
It
But
can
you
count.
can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And I had the Switch, which is recent and everybody knows.
I got the 3DS, and then the new Nintendo 3DS,
Hmm.
because there's such a difference.
Yeah, dude. Like
There
I
is a
remember.
little bit, but
Yeah, I mean the 3D thing. I remember when I saw that 3D thing for the first time, how impressed I was. Like this is how I knew like I had a 3DS. I don't know what happened. Like my mom like had bought the 3DS for me, and she was keeping it as a gift or something. But I don't know. Maybe something happened and I was sad. So she kind of like, hey, I got this thing for you. Like that's a 3DS. I was planning on giving it to you that
Hmm.
day, but like I'm just letting you know, like so you won't be sad. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a 3DS, and I would sneak in her room and actually start playing with 3DS
My God,
before the day I was supposed to get it.
you monster.
First thing I tried was the 3D thing, and you had to place your face right in front of the screen. in order to like
Yeah.
catch it.
Hmm.
But still, I was like, oh my god, this is the future. I'm seeing in 3D.
Huh.
I never used it after a while. It just hurt my head. So
It does. It does. It definitely
it's not worth it.
did.
Just use it normally. No,
It
but then
definitely
when they made the new Nintendo 3DS, they added like a second
noise.
circle thing
Oh
for like
Yeah.
yeah.
the camera. That was really helpful because that's when I started playing Monster Hunter.
Oh, that was
Okay.
That game is
yeah.
difficult without being able to move the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Dude, that thing is so ingenious, by the way. Like this just little thing that you just move on the right side. I was like, they Nintendo to me is the only one that keeps innovating. Like they
Well,
keep thinking about what else could be.
yeah. So here's what Nintendo can do. What they can't do is high-end graphics. They're not really up to speed with a lot of other companies, games companies, when it comes to that kind of thing. And they don't exactly bring super innovative game mechanics to the table all the time either. But what they are bringing to the table is they innovate really strongly with just console interfaces and types of consoles. Um, and I think that's a something that you don't really consciously recognize when you're actually like messing around with Nintendo stuff or playing Nintendo stuff. But I think that's a huge part of what actually keeps them relevant. That and also being generally kind of kid friendly, you know. So
Yeah. No, honestly,
generally, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
people say like the Wii U was a flop and everything. I loved my Wii U,
Yeah,
and
I
also
like mine too. You know.
without the Wii U, there was no Nintendo Switch. That was like on the road to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Ima-
true.
Taya, did you have a Wii U sidebar? Uh,
No, I never had a Wii U because we already had the Wii, so it
hmm,
was deemed unnecessary. Then when we did start playing some of the GameCube games on
hmm.
the Wii though, because I had my controller right next to me, because I was gonna try to hook it up to the computer.
I inherited the family Wii U and most of the Wii games that no one else wanted. So I that's the thing. Being like the youngest child, I've managed to inherit like the majority of the family's game consoles and games. So I've got a pretty nice setup going with a lot of that stuff.
My sister and I have a very strict, like, this is yours, this is my game.
Yes, yes,
it's one of these.
yeah,
I had the same relationship with my little brother when we were younger, actually. Like, well, my mom would buy a box of cookies and we'll split it in half. Like, you have 7 cookies, I have 7 cookies. If I
Hmm.
ever find out that I have 6 cookies, you are in trouble.
heads
This
will
is a
roll.
fight.
It's great.
Oh gosh. You have a little sister. How was the relationship, I guess, when you were younger? Were you the bully? Was she the bully?
Ooh,
Are you talking to me?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you.
I
talking to
am
you,
the
Ted.
younger sister.
Oh, okay.
You.
I mean,
Well,
I
were you
annoyed
the
her.
bully?
I
Oh,
don't think I was
bully?
a bully. I did annoy her a lot because I asked to play all the time, like all the time. She's
Yeah.
like, "No, I want to be in my room and daydream." Of course, young me was like, "That's stupid." Yeah, but then
That's
mom would have to be like, "Taya, she'll play with you after she's in her room for 30 minutes by herself. Leave her alone." So,
rip.
and of course, if we had any like fights, then I'd try to get to mom first. So she'd believe my side of the story because I was first. I don't know. I wasn't very smart. Okay. So, of course, my mom like rolled her eyes. But we don't fight anymore. We haven't fought for like 8 years.
Wow.
It's been a while. We're pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Jeez. I mean, me, I'm the eldest, so I was a bully.
Mm.
my little brother would be the one annoying me, and I would be the one also like. I guess we'll get it. I think we fought where we just fake fight a lot. Like we were just like pillow fighting, like any type of wrestling. When we watch wrestling, we got into that. We started doing that in our bedroom instead of.
But your mom loved that one.
No, I actually did hurt my brother. kind
Okay.
kind of like what
Did you ever end up breaking something you weren't supposed to while
fighting.
wrestling? Yeah, fighting, whatever.
I broke his teeth.
Okay, that counts, I guess. I was
Yes,
thinking more like physical
that's very
objects in
bad.
the
Yeah.
house, but
Oh yes, I
like
definitely broke
inanimate
something.
objects. But I
No,
guess
I remember I
teeth
had like
is
a
also an
jumping rope.
acceptable answer.
I had a jumping rope, and I don't know what got into my head. I thought it was a lasso, and I started like spinning it, and it just knocked the window. It just broke a window.
Oh my
Ooh,
god! You broke a window?
Yeah,
nice. It's a
Wow.
weak window. Okay.
Uh,
it was a weak. I mean, I was spinning it also like like spinning and launching, throwing it, and then yeah, it
uh,
went through the window, and like I don't know. My parents, I don't know what they did.
I don't know. I got lectured for just like bumping a lampshade off kilter. So
Oh my god. I was a terrible kid. Like me before high school and in high school I was like super chill, calm. I wasn't fighting my brother anymore. Like he would try to fight and I would be super calm and everything. But before that, I think I also was hanging out with the wrong crowd. So
mm,
like the crowd that was getting into trouble and I would pick up on that and I guess get into trouble myself.
It happens.
Yeah.
I gotta say, things in the Meyer household have been largely peaceable. Um,
Really?
yeah, and kind of like Taya said, where like in the past 8 years, for sure, like there's been zero major conflicts of any kind. They disagree about stuff. Like Serena just threw the cat toy at me. She's over there, but um, that's about the extent of our violence towards each other.
I
You
mean, my
like
sister and I like play punch each other now because we can.
Yeah,
It's
I like
fine. And then my mom is like, "You're gonna bruise each other." Stop.
the big thing is no one's actually getting upset.
Yeah, no one's upset. Like
There's
actually,
no real issues present.
yeah. No, I definitely wasn't fighting him like because we fought for fun.
Mm.
Although like you could express this otherwise, we fight for no reason. Well, Nick, you have the only male child in your family, right?
Correct.
So I guess what was your place among your sisters? How did you fit into that?
It's kind of like Taya was saying, where like I annoyed people a lot. Um, like here's a perfect example. Case in point, when I was a little kid, I had a ton of Nerf guns because I loved it. I was like, yes, like I can shoot foam darts at people. It's awesome. But it was really hard for me to convince anyone to actually like have a little gunfight with me with the Nerf guns. My sister Serena, she's the oldest. She would actually humor me and have a dart fight with me every now and then, which was awesome. Like that was so exciting for me, and I think she enjoyed it a little bit too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she says yes. But like that didn't happen super often. And so what I would end up doing is I would end up like sitting on the living room with my dart guns or something, and like whenever my sister Katie or Annette would come by, I would shoot at them. And then when they got too ticked off with me about peppering them with foam darts incessantly, they would chase me, and I would run back to my room and close the door. They got really mad. They'd pound on the door, and it'd become a huge family fiasco. So I was kind of like the annoying younger brother for quite a while, but I eventually got out of that. Now I get real guns.
He's like, "Yeah, guys, we
But I
really
don't.
Great.
Yeah, but I don't shoot people with those.
no." What was like two things you did as a kid? Like, I guess two crazy things you did as a kid, or like two things you used to do as a kid that you think are like weird. I would say for me, like I couldn't climb a stair for the life to save my own life. I remember falling down the stair a lot as a kid for some reason. To the point where I got used to it. To the point where like little memories I have of my childhood, like as a kid, there are at least three memories of me literally falling down the stairs.
Hmm.
And another thing I did, which again, like I was the one coming with the ideas, and my little brother would usually follow me. I remember we were sick or something, and we had like to take that drug like to get better, and it was sweet, and I loved it so much that when everybody went at night sleeping, I took it, came to the room with it, and told my brother, "You want some? It's sweet." And we took like two full spoons of it again.
Oh my
Was
god.
it like cough syrup or something?
Yeah, it was cough syrup.
Was it cherry cough syrup?
It was definitely sweet and I liked the taste, so I took more than prescribed.
I like the taste of cough
Yeah.
syrup too. I don't know why, it was actually pretty
Yeah.
good.
That makes that makes three. I'm there too.
Some people hate it, so
Uh, I also almost burnt the house, but nobody cared. Like there was a candle in my parents' bedroom, and I think the candle was lit. And I took a piece of paper, like a thick piece of paper, it was playing with the fire. And like, what do you expect? Like, it literally started catching fire, and that's me
yeah.
running to the bathroom with a piece of paper on fire and like throwing it in the sink and like running water over it. I was, I don't want a kid like me.
Hmm. I've got a really
Like,
bad one.
what is
I'm
it?
not proud of it at all. But I remember when I was really young, I was like 7, 8-ish years old. I got my first pocket knife. And I remember when I got it, my dad was telling me, okay, this thing is sharp. I'm trusting you not to be responsible with this knife. It's like, yes, yes, I will be responsible. I will take care of it and stuff. So I believe that same week, um, I was sitting on the couch with my sisters in the room and stuff, and they were playing games or something. But I was just hanging out, and I had the knife, and I was kind of fiddling with it, and I was like, "How sharp is this really? Like, what could I actually like cut open with this? You know?" And I was like, "Surely it's not that sharp." And so I like flipped open the blade, and I like just kind of like ran it across the pillow, and I cut a hole in the pillow.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's really sharp. And I basically like flipped the pillow upside down and hit it. And then later that week, my mother was doing some house cleaning. She was like, "There is a massive gash in this pillow. Who did
Oh,
it?" And they rounded everyone up in the living room. We were like, "All right, who did it?" And like, if you fess up, I won't be mad. And I fessed up because I was like, I see where this is going. Everyone knows it's me. Like everyone has to know it's me because I'm the one who just got the pocket knife. So I fessed up to that, and it actually went over fairly well because they're like, "We're just glad that you're telling the truth," and like they wanted to reinforce that. I mean, but also we're taking your pocket knife for a while,
yeah.
which is understandable.
Oh
But
god.
I was actually really not good with my first knife. I also cut my thumb open later that month
Oh
with it.
gosh.
So yeah, but I have since very much learned my lesson about how to handle knives. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Or let's just say your curiosity has been
Yeah, my curiosity has been
sated.
satiated sufficiently. Yeah.
Uh,
I was just a sneaky kid, so if I did something wrong, I tried to hide it. And then
Mm.
I would try to listen in on my parents' conversations because why not?
Yeah.
Whoa, she was a spy.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, we had like this overhang walkway above the first floor. So if they were talking and they'd be like talking in a low, hushed voice, then I tried to always like sneak over so I could hear what they were saying.
Yeah. How
Or
often did you
behind
put
closed
your ear against
doors.
the wall? Like when you're in your room trying to hear what people were saying.
Not in
I
my
did
room. You gotta leave your room. You
that. Mm.
gotta go for it. Or we had this one rule where if we didn't put the hangers back from our like the clothes that we wore
Yeah.
from our closet back into my mom's closet, then we wouldn't get dessert.
Hmm.
I thought it was stupid. I still think it's kind of a dumb rule. It's just how I feel about it. But so I would forget all the time because I just did. So then I'm trying to hide the hangers.
Oh,
I
man.
hid like 20 and I
Oh,
would put them back in chunks. So like
Oh,
so I take like a few and then when I remembered I'd go down and then put them back. So then,
huh.
hangers still appeared, just not when they
Not
were
when they were
supposed to.
supposed to.
Not
Yeah.
when they were supposed to. And then I got my sister to do it because she also would forget. And then, yeah, I mean, eventually mom found out, duh. I mean, she was kind of mad ish, but then we kind of retaliated and then she just dropped the rule altogether. So
Hmm.
uh,
it
uh,
worked in my favor. Was it weirdly sneaky that I didn't need to do it all because it wasn't that serious? Yes.
Hmm.
yeah.
So, yeah.
How was your high school experience? Like, how did you fit in your high school? Like, what was your crowd? Or like, what kind of kid were you?
Or did you fit in high school? Which is valid.
Well, I was in band and in percussion, so I hung out with percussion people all the time. I grew apart from my middle school friends because I was doing band all the time,
Hmm.
like all the time.
Wow.
Morning practice, sometimes afternoon practice. We had marching season, but then we had a separate percussion show that we had to do. So we had to practice for like two shows. And then you had your band music, and then you had regionals. And then after that was over, then you had your other band music, and then you had your solos, and then we had ensembles. And because we were in percussion, then we had like an ensemble concert. And then each person was in like 7 to 8 ish pieces, like max 12, I think was what
Oh
I
my
had.
gosh.
So like I had a lot of stuff to practice all the time. So that's what I did. I didn't even eat lunch in the cafeteria my senior year. I ate it by the band hall so I could eat and then go practice.
Whoa.
That is
That's
so
what we
brutal.
did.
Damn. Did you
My
enjoy
God.
it? Was it like a passion or like no?
Some of it. I kind of wish I could do some of it now. So
Hmm.
marching season was not my favorite. I do not like marching band that much. The ensemble season was our favorite though. That was the most stressful because your teacher also got most annoyed at us on a
Mm.
constant basis. But yeah, you just hang out with all the other band kids who are hanging out with each other. So kind of we just became like this one family of kids.
Hmm.
Some people called me mom. So
uh, where did it came from? Like,
when did it or
no, like, how did it came from? Like, Why did they call you mom? I guess.
Because I did a lot of stuff.
Oh, I
I
see.
always had band-aids. When someone scratched their finger, I had alcohol wipes on me.
That's great.
Like, I made sure stuff people had stuff and put stuff away for people.
I see.
It was a it was a cursed role I gave myself. Put it that way.
Oh man. I guess like what kind of kid were you then? Were you the one that was like always caring, like always have extra band-aid? Like how would you describe
Yeah, were
Thea
you
in
the
high school?
parent of your friend groups? Because I was also the parent of my friend groups, if you were.
I was the parent of the friend group.
Mm.
And also, I mean, I was pretty quiet in actual school. I didn't say that much. And I don't know, quiet, reserved kid who every once in a while talked to other people. And mostly if I A already knew them or B found out that they liked like fire like one dude next to me played Fire Emblem Heroes every day, so then I started talking to him. But yeah, I didn't say much. I didn't try to be the teacher's pet or anything, which I did in elementary school. But high school, nah, not doing it. Not worth
Mm.
it.
That's how you call it here, a teacher's pet.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
someone who tries to be like the second.
Oh
It's what once you reach middle school, it's kind of like, nah.
man.
For most people, I still knew some people.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. I think I was a kid instead of a parent in my high school. I took,
Mm.
I remember being taken care of a lot. I was the one needed an extra pen.
See, I
I
was
was
an
like,
interesting parent because I would be the one who was like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't do that," or "Watch out for that," or things like that. But
oh
once they do it,
man,
they're on their own, man. Like
you were that
I watch and
dude.
I laugh. I'm like a hard, tough love parent for my friend
Yeah,
group.
wow.
Yeah.
We would not have been friends if I would met you in high school like
Yeah.
that.
Then again, my entire friend group was like a bunch of good old boys that I was very close with. So they would listen to me and be like, "Yeah, Nick is just gonna be like that." And go do something stupid, and I would watch and laugh, and they would
Uh,
survive, and they'd be fine. It was a
Someone's
good
got to be
time.
there to watch and laugh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
okay, if something like truly catastrophic happened, then I would start getting in there. But we didn't have a lot of catastrophic moments, so it was okay.
yeah. The, I think most people would describe me as calm in my high school, but
Mm.
the people that know me know I wasn't.
Yeah,
Like
we talked
in
a
my
lot about
classroom,
your schooling experience. You were kind of a
yeah, in my classroom, I did
time
not have
boss.
friends because I did not cheat during tests. A lot of people said that yeah, it was because like of religious reason, but the more I think about it, it's because I was competitive. So
Yep.
like during the test, like they would try to just like be like, "Hey, tell me the answer." I would say no, but I also wouldn't ask them anything. So they thought I was like the nerd, which I
Yeah.
was kind of. Like I was into science thing. I loved science and everything related to that. But all my friends were in the other classrooms. So I would leave after like during the break or like and go hang out with them. And these people were the group of Let's Watch the World Burn. I feel like that's how I would describe it because my high school was very chaotic. There was drama every day. Like, if I remember one thing about that high school is that I laughed a lot
Mm.
because it was a weird high school. We were next to this rich high school, so
Oh.
like the kids in my high school were trying to be rich. Like we were trying to be friend with these people, so we looked rich. At least
Oh.
a lot of people tried to look rich, although like we were not. And then the teachers that came into our school were some of the best in the country. But they just came here. They were teaching primarily in other high school. They were only coming to teachers like for extra money. So
I
they
have a
weren't
question
really giving
real
what?
quick. So you're saying that you were in like a higher end high school, but directly adjacent to your high school, there was an even higher end high school in terms of
I don't
like
think my high school can
it
be
had a
this.
lot of rich people in it and things like that.
I would say my high school was on its way to be higher end, but it wasn't.
Okay.
Like
Like
we
at
were
the
a
time
weird
you were
case.
there, it wasn't quite on the level of this one directly adjacent to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
That is so
definitely.
weird that you have a high school like right next to another high school and they're distinct.
Yeah.
It's because they taught different programs. So I was taught
Uh-huh.
the Ivorian curriculum,
Huh.
and this school was French, like from
Oh,
France. It was
weird.
with French curriculum, and
That
it
is
was.
weird. I didn't think there was a distinction there.
Oh yes, there are even like American high school because like there were some you don't usually if you can study abroad in Ivory Coast you do study abroad.
Huh.
So I have a lot of my friends that are in other countries. Like
Yeah.
half of my friends are studying in other countries. So you would usually try to put yourself in that environment before, if you can.
Yeah.
Like if you know you want to go to college in the US and you can afford it because it's very expensive. I mean, I didn't go to, but there is a high school that teaches you like what is taught in US schools, and you would go there and like do the SAT and like go
That
to
is
college. Yeah, it will be more familiar. So yeah, same thing for this French high school, but because it's like French, it was I guess more expensive. So richer people will go there. So our teachers were only coming to make extra money, and most of them didn't care.
yeah.
Oh,
So there was like students that were legit insane. I think some of them were clinically insane based on the things I've seen, and teachers that did not care about what they said, told how they talked to students. They were not afraid of being fired because the school was not going to fire them because they were some of the best, and I guess like our school didn't have a choice sometimes.
I mean, did
So
your teachers ever have a hard time like maintaining order or discipline, or
yes,
like did they just let the chaos reign and like whoever listens to them listens to them?
there
Like,
were two kind
how
of
how
teachers.
did they manage
There were
keeping things
teachers.
running smoothly?
There were teachers that no, okay. It had you had to be kind of violent with us
what?
because the student
Please
did not.
define.
We have made teacher cry. I've seen teacher cry in my high school
Gosh.
because
Okay.
the chaos like just went so far beyond what was expected. Like I remember one of my math teacher. He was the kindest human being you could see. He taught us like for 2 years and we broke him because he would be during class like teaching and people would just stand up, leave the class, and come back with popcorns and like this is popcorn party. They would just share to all the students and we would just talk during class. This dude was trying his best to teach us and nobody was caring until he snapped at us one day.
Could he just like not get them under control, or did he not even try?
He
Or
tried
do you
like
even know?
as
Was he just
no,
trying, and that's all you know?
yes, like I also had teacher hitting student because they just
That is so awful.
that happened. I mean, that literally got to that point where like a teacher would just grab a student and like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you screaming like an animal in my class?
Wow, what a zoo!
It was insane. It was insane. And all I remember was just laughing every day because someone would do something crazy. Whether it's a teacher, whether we busted someone that was selling, I don't know if it was cocaine. Yeah, it was white. Like he was big. He was a big drug dealer and he was a classmate.
Oh my gosh.
And he
Okay,
was hiding bags of drugs in the college, like in the rooms of the college, like in their nose. And like somehow I don't know who discovered that. But
I
like the
have.
police came, he got arrested, and the room where like the drug was literally close to a classroom. So like we have in class, and all of a sudden the teachers comes, they open that room that we never entered, and the huge bags of like white powder are just coming out of that, and we just like, what?
Okay, I have a question for
Dang.
you. It's really important. And I don't really want you to answer right now on the podcast, but later I'd want to know, do you still know where the school is?
Yeah,
Okay, because I want to look it up and just see what it looked like, you know?
yeah. I hope. I mean, I hope that it's been pacified because
Yeah.
there were plenty.
I want to see if it's still there, and like,
Oh, it's
I
there.
don't know. Okay.
This it's there. Oh my god, this thing is like the core.
It's
It's been
eternal.
here. Yes, it's eternal. The school looks eternal.
Oh no.
But like again, like in high school, that was my crowd of people. We were just observing that chaos and just laughing. And I had the funniest friend in the world. Like they were so funny, like on point with the jokes and things like that. So I just remember laughing. They would just exaggerate that chaos for me. So I was half and half. I was calm with most people, and with them, I was just goofing around and like, this is the reason I'm a troll, really.
know, our school had its own flavor of chaos, but it was like you know, I was in high school as the school was dying, and it finally keeled over and died, I think, at the end of my sophomore year. So my high school experience, at least at my first school, was you had like very few students, and it was like you've got this tight knit group of people who are your classmates, and all around you, these kind of all around you, you see the structure and the order of the school slowly kind of disintegrating and falling into decay.
Wow.
And so, we slowly had kind of like more and more, I guess, freedom, but also like it would be things like we would have we had a class called yearbook because most of the people in my class were on the yearbook team, and we were supposed to, you'd think, make the yearbook. Well, we would show up to where we're supposed to be to actually get this thing rolling, and the lady who was supposed to organize it just wasn't there. Like we'd walk into a classroom and she would never show up, and like no one knew about it. No one knew where we were or what we were doing. We were just like every other day we would go to yearbook and no one would be there, and everyone. It's like our entire class just went off the face of the earth for like 30 minutes. We could have just left the school probably if we wanted to, for those 30 minutes, and no one would have blinked. But eventually we got caught by, I think, the theology teacher. He got really upset with
A
us.
theology teacher?
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
theology teacher because we were a private Christian school. So, yeah.
Is this like Bible study or something?
He teaches us things like apologetics and stuff. So, uh, it was like we would do things like read Mere Christianity or something, and like
What?
Yeah, wait,
have you
hold on.
read
What's
Mere Christianity?
apologetics?
That's not apologetics, but that is just a good book to read. You know.
Is this a
So
book? Like, I'm sorry, you talk
yes,
about
it's a
some.
book.
What is it about?
Oh boy. I listen. I don't think I want to dive into this too deep with you guys. Not on the
Okay.
podcast. We can talk about it later, but
I am so curious.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
oh my god.
if people do want to hear it on the podcast later, we can talk about it, but I am not prepared to unpack it right now.
Okay. What was your favorite course in high school, Tia?
My favorite course in high
I don't
school?
know, like biology or like uh class, I would say.
I did three classes of architecture in high school. That was probably the most enjoyable class because it
Hmm.
was different. You get to do like AutoCAD and your little party diagrams. It was, I don't have to study for anything.
Yeah,
Though I also knew I didn't want to do architecture by doing those classes, but I will always appreciate doing those classes.
yeah,
It also gave me a leg up freshman year a little bit for
yeah,
college, at
yeah.
least the first half.
First-
Yeah.
oh man,
Other than that, band,
bad. So you did enjoy it a lot.
I enjoyed it, but I also, I had some issues with our teacher. Actually,
Oh,
we collectively had some issues with our teacher. He was a
oh,
bit, he's old school. I'll put it that way.
wow, the
He,
yelling
he
one.
got nicer when we got older because he really liked our class of kids because we were like well mannered. We tried to be leaders, whatever you want to call it. And then we were all in like the top bands, so no one sucked.
Uh,
So he really warmed up to us afterwards. We had like 5 years of him being kind of angry and
yeah,
great.
I, I see. Oh man, we had these teachers.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say my favorite class. I didn't like classes that I didn't like the teacher really. Like, I loved biology, and my biology teacher were like those unique characters.
Yeah, you gotta
Like,
love your teacher, right? In order to love the class.
yeah, they made me laugh. And like, my first biology teacher was, I mean, he kind of like was kind of my mentor in high school, really. I mean, he took care of me like beside school. He was watching over me, and uh, his class was extremely interesting. I mean, I don't know if in Texas you'll have like a sexual education at all, but in Ivory Coast they really teach you a lot about that. And I always love like his takes on things. Like,
Mm.
I don't think he will allow teacher to speak like that in high school. Like, he would talk about sex in detail. Like, they
Okay.
showed us how to put
That
a
is
condom when I
insane.
was 14. They showed us how to put a condom, and they brought like a wooden thing, and they just showed us, and we went insane in the high school. We were like, "Oh my god!"
You know, if I were a parent, I might have pulled you out. That's
No,
cool.
because it's gonna happen. Like, what do you think high school kids are doing right now? I feel like it's useful. It's extremely useful that they know how to do that because, like, they are doing it, and it's not that you're gonna prevent them from knowing that. So I feel like that was something useful to know. I mean, I didn't go around and use that knowledge, but I'm like, at least I know it. But other class I loved was also, uh, I think I talked to Nick about like, what was the name
Yeah,
of
we
it?
definitely talked about your high school before.
Philosophy. My
Philosophy.
philosophy, yeah, my
Interesting.
philosophy class. My philosophy teacher was a very interesting character.
Mm.
His first class consisted of just bashing God, the existence of God. He just came in the class and he was like, Ivory Coast is like mostly religious. I
Yeah.
mean, there are Muslims, there are Christians, but to us, there's kind of a like basic like God exists, right? And his first class is like, nope. And let me tell you why. And 1 hour of him rambling about that, and he just left us like mouth open. And like he had this weird habit. First class, like he came when he was talking, he took like a piece of chalk and like wrote a circle, drew a circle on his hand,
Oh, I heard about this.
and we did not know why. So like he keeps talking, like rambling, and that would be his class. Like his class is mostly him sitting and rambling about stuff. He's
Yeah.
just and like he will remember that. And like at the end of the class, whenever like it's time, take his hand and look at this circle as if it was a watch, and just like, oh, it's time for me to leave, and he just leaves. He just go out. Like this man did not even come with like a backpack or something. He came, he sat, and he was like, "What was I saying last time?" And we're like, "You were talking about this
Are you
theory."
sure you had the best teachers?
He was great.
Just like, he sounds fun and like, they probably actually paid attention.
Yeah.
Yes, and like his quizzes would be fun. Like
Hmm.
his quizzes were mostly like he'll be like, "Teya, come sit," and you'll sit in front of him and you'll be like, "Okay." No, you'll be like, "Okay, I told you about these four theories, like about like existence. Like, do you lean toward one? And like, if you lean toward one, like, why do you lean toward that?"
Yeah, tell me about it. Like, right? Like critical thinking.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and you argue with you, you'll be like, "Oh, but you lean toward that. But what about this one?" And that was his test. That was his
Yeah.
quiz, essentially.
Honestly, not a bad way to quiz people though on
Yeah.
philosophy, right?
Oh yeah, bro, I love this class. He was also a bit weird. He wasn't with us completely.
That is horrifying.
If he made me love the course, essentially.
Hmm.
Oh man. How about you, Nick?
Uh,
What class did you like?
it's interesting. So, I would say like the only class that I look back on high school and I think, oh, that was good. Like that was a fun time, and I learned things in there. Was my high school English classes during freshman and sophomore year. Junior and senior year, when I went to a different school and I had a totally different teacher, totally different kind of curriculum thing too. Um, I hated that English course. That was horrible, because in that course we would do a lot of busy work. Like we had a teacher that would just hand us out like you know kind of like fill in the blank sheet talking about this book or something, and it's like there are right answers and wrong answers, and it's like this is so stupid. Like my brain is not being engaged at all. I am bored out of my skull trying to fill out your arbitrary paperwork. It was horrible, you know. But with with that first English course I had freshman and sophomore year, like our teacher was engaged and he was spirited, and like we would read the books together, and like like there's just it was just so much more like personal, and you're able to kind of express what you thought about the book and have discussions on it, and it was so much better. But definitely that class with that particular teacher is only good because the teacher made it good,
Teacher was
you know
involved.
and
Yes.
I won't
Some
forget
teacher
that
hates
ever,
some
right?
teacher hates students.
Like
Like,
our entire class, we loved the guy. Like he was amazing. All of us were thought he was the best teacher in the school, man. It was
yeah.
So you had the
Oh,
same teacher for both years then?
yeah.
Okay.
okay. I think I've asked you a question. They after 2 years of I no 3 years now of
Yeah, three
ID.
years. It's been
What's
3 years. Okay.
yeah? What do you think about it now? How do you feel about ID after 3 years of
uh,
that?
I know it's not for me.
Oh really?
In a sense that I will not be doing like true ID for my job.
mm,
I will probably be doing something design related, but I will not be doing true ID, nor do I really want to.
hmm.
Whoa.
No offense to our
No, dude,
teachers.
I
What?
get that. That's all
I
right.
No.
just don't think it's like my thought process kind of works with it and it kind of doesn't. Like every single time they talk about what you need to have or how you need to think, I'm always like, that's not totally relatable to me.
Yeah, I've
Like,
Yeah.
seen your projects before too. Like I believe He designed a shoe at one point.
I was a
Uh,
shoe cat leader.
yeah,
Uh,
cat litter box. He had furniture design. We had to do the chairs. I saw how your chair was. Um,
Just say you definitely know how my chair
well,
was.
I think that some of your design aesthetic leans very much towards something more like fashion design rather than like hard product design, like a kitchen
It
appliance.
doesn't.
You know, so
And I know that now.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to do more sewing.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, like getting more accustomed to fabrics because like they never had us really messing with fabrics that much.
it's
Dude.
because we're not that's not, I mean, like, you can have
That's kind
fabrics
of
in
what
your
we do,
product,
but
but it's just
uh,
not as
yeah,
That's why I hate
what
it.
they think ideas, because they lean heavily in the medical sector, and that
yeah,
doesn't really have to do with
or like
that.
I think they push plastics pretty hard
Yeah.
for like actual what our actual products would be made out of, and then in terms of like hands-on experience, we get a lot of experience with woodworking and metalworking. You know,
Yeah. Bro, the upcycling project like favored so much people that knew how to sew thing.
yeah.
I was all the best project were like handsaw. I was like, I don't know how to do that. And like obviously I'm supposed to upcycle something into like a piece of furniture or like whatever, a bag. It's never gonna look better than someone that's knew how to sew thing.
Yeah,
But of course, are
dude.
you gonna do that beyond the one project, or
Well, I
Exactly.
mean, I remember when I had to make my chair and learn how to sew for the first time. That was that was rough. Taya was there all night
yeah?
watching me struggle with the sewing machine.
Didn't you have to
Really.
hand sew eventually?
Yes, I did both. I hand sewed and I used the sewing machine.
Because I know Pedro tried using the sewing machine. It didn't work for him either.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I do feel like again, ID is my thing, but it's not the only thing I wanna do. The more I went into it, the more I was like, I can use it to do many other things I love and which I actually care about. But I do feel like it has its place in my life.
Mhm.
And I didn't come into ID like I did 2 years of community college. So before I came, like I was supposed to study architecture. Thank God I didn't do it because I noticed that I didn't like architecture. So I went into like searching for a year, like what do I want to do? And I guess when I found the idea and like I did online courses about it, I researched about it, I was like, it looks more like me. So even 3 years after, I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that.
That's
I,
good.
yeah, I think it's going on a break, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's your passion, I guess? Did you have any passion as a kid? Like
Isn't
I
that
don't
that's my question I've been asking myself for the last like 4 years.
4 years.
I know what I am interested in. It's more of choosing what to do with the interests, um, and what can make money. If
Obviously.
I didn't have to think about making money, I would be in a science major right now, and probably not this. But I do have to worry about making money.
Yeah.
I really liked dinosaurs as a kid. Forever, for the longest time, I wanted to be a paleontologist. I still love dinosaurs, so that didn't change. Marine biology was my like second biggest thing I wanted to do. That was really competitive. You gotta. The thing with the science things is you either like there's professors, you either have to stay in a lab pretty much, from what I
Yeah.
know anyway,
Yeah.
or stuff is based on grants. Like
Oh
research is
yeah.
based on grants and all that stuff. And you know what? I want to be able to have more of a stable living.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's why I'm not doing that. And then next, I always liked fashion as a kid. and I still do. So I'm kind of more leaning towards going in that realm at the moment, um, because a lot of ID stuff when it comes to scientific discovery, which I think is really interesting, is also really engineer heavy, and I'm not that great at math,
I'm
so
not
Yeah,
either.
that's all of
not really
us.
for me.
Yeah.
I was trying to run away from it.
Yeah.
No, I feel like me and Nick are two artists, supposed to be artists that just wanted to make more money.
Yeah,
So
pretty
we came
much.
into ID.
Or just like I don't want to drown in the workplace, so
Yeah.
Yeah, like him and me have like side project about like fictional stories and like characters and like
oh yeah.
with yeah, and I was like, you're not gonna make money out of it, at least in the immediate future.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. I feel like if you want to make money out of it, you need help. Like you need more people working on your project. And I think that that's really hard if you're kind of an artsy person to try to convince people to help you work on your project because you start to lose you start to lose full ownership over the idea. Like this thing that you care about that you've been working on for like a few years or something, with all these custom characters and the custom story and the custom background and everything. Now you have to hand that over a little bit to someone else and let them like kind of call shots and push the story in a certain direction that's arguably better, but you have to ask yourself if that's really what you want, you know,
Yeah,
to like, yes, you watch this thing grow into something much more palatable to the general public and also just like, are, objectively better, and like it grows into more quality production, but it's not you anymore, or it's not strictly you, you know. Um,
yeah.
and I think like I've asked myself that question, and at least for now, I'm not willing to
I feel like
let
no one
go of
gets
that
into
entirely.
some.
Like I think I'd reach out for a little bit of help here and there, or I would run things by people and just ask them like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" But getting someone like actually involved in my projects, no, 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 that's not happening. You know?
I mean, in the day of social media, it's easier to do it by yourself,
Yeah,
but then you have to, I don't kind of get lucky, I guess, or at
yeah,
least
I
find
do.
your audience because it's somewhere on the internet. It's always somewhere. And there's plenty of people who've kind of made it ish, or at least they have a lot of followings.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know. I think it's Faceless Neil.
Mm.
That account. They started off with like a cartoon, and then but now he's trying to get somebody to do like a show. I think with him, where he's made like the I totally do not know what they're called mock-ups, I guess, for like advertising to companies so they can do a show. And that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, but that it's mostly just the one dude. I think now he's gotten help because it's hard to do claymation by yourself, but
Yeah.
so it's possible. It's just not
It's
easy
difficult.
or you got to be a little lucky.
Yeah. I think if you're trying to do like a story on your own, entirely on your own, you have to choose your medium really carefully. Like, especially if you actually want this to become bigger than just like, oh, this is the hobby I do and this is something for me. If you want to like share it with the world and like express something profound and stuff like that, you got to be really careful about your medium, you know, because once you commit to it, like you have to commit to it or you're never going to be able to get this thing done before you die, you know. So but
You have a lot of years left. Okay.
I know, but still like you think about like are you really going to be working on the same project with the same kind of energy when you start to get like decades down the line? Probably not. So if you're going to do a project, you probably have to work through it as kind of as fast as possible, at least like while it's something that uh, you have the drive to get done, you know? Or like, I feel like if at least when I look at myself, I feel like if I don't uh, start pushing to move this project somewhere, like the project that I'm currently working on, don't start pushing to move it in some direction, in some
Hmm.
appreciable way, I'm just gonna start to be like, I haven't made much progress on it in like 10 years. I might
Yeah.
as well just drop it now because I'm not gonna finish it.
Oof.
Like I need to be able to look back at my past and say, "Wow, I've come a long way," in order to keep
Yeah.
going with it. You know, like or to have the motivation to finish it out and see it through. You know,
Yeah.
otherwise it's just gonna remain an idea, and I'll look at it and like, I don't really feel like getting started on it or like pushing the rest of the way through with it. I'm just gonna leave it there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, for me, for these dreams again, at least in that, uh, I've been lucky to have a sense of what I wanted early. Like I feel even the fictional story I'm working on, I don't know how it's gonna end up, like if it's gonna work or no. But even the name of it, I had it since I was a kid. Like all my toys, like it's the name of a place, and all my toys when I was a kid, I would gather them, and that was the name of a place. Like, so I feel like I've been working on it for the longest time.
yeah.
Like,
And again, it means too much to you, for you to really let
yes,
go.
but even like for anything I do, like even like podcasting, I did podcast. That's not my first podcast. Sorry, I'm in studio was not my first podcast. I podcasted before I knew what podcast was. And
Yeah,
like I was just like talking to friends and like I was like, "Oh my god, you all have so many interesting stories. That would be cool if we could record it and talk it. Like can you imagine in 10 years if we listen to that again? That would be so cool."
like earlier this podcast, you were talking about recording, like you and your little brother playing Skyward Sword, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
literally I
There
did
you
that.
go.
So like I feel like for anything like I'm passionate about, I can tie it back to something early on in my life. Like I was kind of following the same path. Like ID, I love technology. Like I remember when I had a computer at home, like we had Microsoft Paint, and what I would do with Paint is that my mom had this magazine that they were about like business, but they would also advertise like the new phones and like the new technology. And I would just look at that and try to draw it in Paint and research about how it worked and be like, okay, the chip is gonna be here and this button is gonna be here. And like I'm like, that is ID.
Yeah. I used to do things like that too. I'd like diagram machinery or something to be like, this is where
Yeah.
this needs to be, and this is about how much space that needs to have.
I mean, I don't
You know,
pretend to know, like to give advice again at someone that doesn't know what they want because I don't know how they feel. But at least for me, I just look at the past and I'm just like, you were just going there. So you might as well keep going there. And the more I do it, the more I feel that momentum that I cannot stop now.
before I even knew ID existed, like just when I was drawing art and I was doing like silly cartoon characters and stuff, um, I would be drawing like equipment they would have, or like a backpack or something. And if I couldn't get it to make sense in my head, I could not rest. Like I think what I needed was like everything I did, I had to have some kind of sort of like explanation for how it might kind of work, or like at least the important things needed to be something that could be believable, you know. And I still hold to this that if you're gonna do fiction of any kind, the kinds of things you have in your fiction should be somewhat tethered to how the real world works, because then it's relatable to people and people can look at it and be like, "Oh my gosh, that could be real, couldn't it?" And that like kickstarts their imagination, where they're like, "Oh wow, if that has some kind of grounding in reality, the whole rest of the fiction is validated in that way," right? Like you look at the whole rest of the fiction and say, if this one thing in this fiction is grounded in reality, I can assume
Yeah.
that the rest of the things that I can't see will be, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I thought about that when I was watching Star Wars one time, where it's like, so one of the things that Star Wars does really well is they will give you a very small glimpse into the nuances of a very particular niche thing. Like, for instance, maybe like a rebel ship is like docking with an Imperial dockyard or something. And, the rebel pilot has to talk to the uh, dock masters, at this dockyard. And there's like a whole protocol for how Imperial ships dock and like things that you say and things that you don't say, and they go into that a little bit and they show you a glimpse of it. And it's like, wow, that is really nuanced and it
What about
makes
it?
sense and it's very orderly. And
Yeah.
you could kind of see it extending into, like, you could see that being a possible reality. All of it makes sense. It all checks out. And
Yeah.
because that one particular thing checks out, you can assume, like your brain just automatically assumes that the rest of the dockyard is like that. Like, wow, it must all be kind of grounded in reality,
Yeah.
actually possible.
Makes me
I
think
think
of
that
like a
is so
lot of
important to sell fiction to people,
yeah.
is to ground it in the nonfiction a little bit.
Makes me think of Lord of the Ring actually. Like the dude that wrote Lord of the Ring, right? Like he actually created those languages, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
he
weren't
did.
they weren't just speaking in tongues shit. Like
yeah,
he actually like make it make sense. So like when you hear it, it's not like they are just gibberishing. It's more like I feel like I don't understand what they are saying, but I feel like they are saying something.
yeah. It makes it feel real. That's so important, is making things feel real.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, did you have any favorite series? Like what did you watch on TV when you were
ooh,
younger?
what's funny is I never actually watched a lot of TV when I was younger. At least like not like cartoon shows. I did watch like uh, SpongeBob and some other things we had on DVD. We didn't have cable. We did have like Netflix around. I would go out and seek out a lot of documentaries because I was,
Uh
you know how I am. I think you
yeah,
can guess what the documentaries were about.
yeah, World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of what my childhood was just like a mixture of like Second World War documentaries or something and like SpongeBob SquarePants. It was weird. But a weird mix, real
Yeah, that's
tonal
what a really
shift
strange mix.
between like a
Yeah.
documentary on the Holocaust and SpongeBob SquarePants. But that those are the kinds of things I was putting back to back.
I will backpedal a little bit because you were talking about fiction. Because I was reading most of yesterday. And I've been reading Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive.
Hmm.
Hey, that dude has made the same universe in all of his books for like the past 10 plus years. So it is possible
Yeah.
with a
Wow.
lot of dedication. Because
Wow.
it's all like one extended thing that connects, which I did not get when I first started reading, so I have to reread so I understand it better. But I think shows it's more important to have some of it grounded in reality because I was thinking back to what I read yesterday and I'm like, that's not very grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But it still makes sense. Depending on your world building, it can still make sense.
Yeah.
but you have to be really good at it. And you have to make it all make sense within like its own sphere if it's not super grounded. It still needs to be grounded.
Yes.
It
Like
just
there
doesn't have
need
to
to
be
be
grounded in
rules
like
of the world,
reality. Yeah.
right? Yeah. And
But the
if what
rules,
you're doing is not, if you're not playing by your own rules, it's like whole thing comes apart, right?
yes.
Yeah.
There's some series that totally messed that up. So, I don't want to
Example.
say. I don't know if Game of Thrones, the show,
Oh God.
like it,
Yes.
some of it makes sense, and then I feel like some of it they they left their own rules
Yes.
close to the second half, and that's when some of it stopped making more sense.
Oh
Even their own
God.
political rules, also, they just
Oh
kind of like
God.
passed out the window. So
Don't get me started on Game of Thrones. The reason why you wait for the author to finish a book before you do the series.
yes, but I don't think at this rate, I don't think he's gonna finish it. I
Yeah,
think
I think
he's tired. I think he's done.
I hate that because it has happened recently. Like there was this manga I read, Berserk. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but he started that manga in 1989, and he would just publish irregularly. Like he wanted his drawing to be perfect. He's a perfectionist.
Hmm.
He just wanted every drawing to be perfect. So like he would publish like 1 month at a time. Maybe like you get 10 pages, or if you're lucky 40 pages, or sometimes it would take like 2 months to draw. And like now he's dead. He died this year. He
Oh,
didn't finish it.
Yikes, man.
From 1989 to 2022, he did not finish it because he was perfectionist. He had the story, but he wanted all his drawing to be perfect.
Do you also kind
And
of see what I'm talking about? Where it's like it's good to get started sooner rather than later on your
yes,
yes.
projects. If you're really serious about them, or like I think you have to make peace with yourself about like not really knowing exactly how far you're actually gonna get with your idea, and just being like, uh,
yeah,
at what point, like if I died like right now, would I be satisfied with where it's at? And
yeah,
if you're not satisfied, you need to stop and start working on it. You know?
yeah. Makes me so mad. It's such a good story, and now like his assistants, like whoever has a right to it, they say like we're gonna continue it, but you just know it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, it
They're
ain't the
gonna
same. It
they
ain't the vision.
recently, yeah, they recently published the last 6 pages he drew, and like it was climbing to something like big happening,
Ooh.
Oh,
and
that
he's
is so
dead.
awful. Ouch.
Well, at least if they have somebody who's like really dedicated about it, hopefully the quality won't go down.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not a guarantee, but there is hope.
And
yeah,
honestly, with something like that, where it's been going since 1989, there's a good chance that there is someone dedicated who actually wants to bring it to its rightful place, you know? But
yeah. But please tell this person to not be perfectionist.
yeah, that's a hard
Oh,
thing to do.
I
I
know,
think
but
what you
that
need
was
to do is blast everything out, hammer out the entire story in a really rough format, and then you can go back and make it perfect. You know?
I agree. And most people do that actually. Like the way manga works, like they just publish like each week like a kind of a rough draft. And it's when it goes into like tomes, like booklets, that they go back and retouch some things. But
Yeah,
like these dudes, his drawing were perfect, but guess what? He didn't finish it.
yeah. Which honestly, in a way, that might be good too, because we got to see everything exactly as he intended, at least as much as he was able to make. You know, all of it is perfect. And you can't say
Yeah,
that for some things that are just like slammed out and then they try to go back and make it good, you know?
yeah. So yeah, they are talking about shows.
What did I watch as a child? Cartoons mostly.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Avatar: The Last
Hey,
Airbender,
that one's good.
Yeah.
I'm all for
Clone
that.
Wars, and then like as a family we watched some stuff. We watched Project Runway.
What was
So you
Project
think you can
Runway?
dance? It's like a fashion competition.
Oh, okay.
That's fun.
So I really liked that show. Okay. And then So You Think You Can Dance, which is dancing competition. My favorite cartoon was probably Avatar and then Clone Wars. Remember I used to have this like Clone Wars lunchbox and then we'd like play Clone Wars on the playground in elementary school. I always had to be Anakin, which I didn't like because my
You
friend always wanted to be Ahsoka.
really? I don't know. I feel like being Anakin would be fun. I would like to be Anakin. That sounds great.
Well, I
I can
can't
go
believe
burn in a
that.
lava pool somewhere.
No. And then one of our friends was always General Grievous.
Oh, I want to be that guy really
Yeah,
bad. He's so cool. I know he sucks, like functionally. He's
he's
not
just
able
pretty
to do
cool.
much. But like four lightsabers? Are you kidding me? Come on. I want to wield four lightsabers. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's mostly cartoons. Oh, and then My Little Pony when that came out. Ironically,
Oh,
this last year I watched up to season 6, and then this last year I watched everything.
Mm.
My Little Pony. Like, how is the
Yes,
story? Like,
You know
it's
what?
good.
they have 9 whole seasons.
Oh God.
And you know what? It's good, and I stand by that statement.
I'm gonna be very real with y'all right now. I also watched that. Actually
What?
through, and I liked it. It was good.
It's good.
It's good. I will not apologize for My Little Pony. I will stand beside that.
If you can get past the that you're looking at pastel ponies
Yeah,
and your perceived conception of that, it's actually pretty
yeah.
good.
I am a man.
uh,
I'm a man with an open mind. Okay.
Dude, no, I couldn't get. I mean, again, oh my God.
They have
Yeah.
a whole episode on a communist town run by a dictator.
Yeah.
Ponies?
That's what I'm talking about.
Do we have pets in the world? Like, do we have a dog? Like, do we have
Oh,
pets in the
Do they
pony
have
world?
pets?
they kind
Yeah.
of do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
What the heck? Some animal evolved, some devolved.
I don't know how it devolved, but I don't really know how it works. I
Wow.
actually don't know how it
You
works
know.
because they show a giraffe that can't talk, but then zebras can talk, so it's kind
Yeah.
of weird.
They leave that very ambiguous. Which I honestly I don't think you're supposed to think about it. I don't think about it.
Yeah, just sh- it's ponies, man. Get over it.
Yeah. It's a kids show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Relax.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
bro. As a kid, I think it was split between cartoons and animes. So I watched Cartoon Network when it was like a thing. Loved Ben 10. Uh, Justice League was kind of cool too. Uh, Kid Next Door.
Which one was
Uh,
that?
there was like it was in French, so I was like there was like a number one,
You don't
number
know if
two.
the title is different, do you?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
Justice League is good. I got you on that.
that's the thing. Like when they translate like in French, they was sometimes they do a great job of it, meaning that they don't just run it through Google Translate and say whatever comes out, whether it makes sense or no. Sometimes they go through actually like making it make sense to a French audience. So
Yeah.
recently, I was at one of my friend's house and we were watching Total Drama Island, and
Yeah.
I was like, it's not the same name in. I know that series. It's not the same name in French. and even the names of the character were not the same in English as in French. And like they did a great job of translating it. Like they actually put purpose into it, like where it would
Yeah, to make it feel
resonate.
natural, right, to the
Yeah,
French audience.
yeah, and I remember loving that series as well. And I think it was Canadian, so maybe that's why it was easy for them because I know Canada is like French, is French and
Yes,
part
yeah,
English.
Canada does have a busted French quarter.
Yeah, so yeah, some series have Disney was the greatest. Is the greatest at translating things. Like even songs, like they are good at just making it make sense in every language they translate. Like I remember the Frozen movie. That was a movie I loved.
Yeah,
I didn't think I would love it because I was like,
yeah.
it's cute,
It's not
but
called Frozen in French, is it?
it's not. It's
Yeah,
called the Queen of the Ice. The Queen of Ice. The Ice
Oh
Queen.
yeah, it's
yeah.
based off of that story, I think actually.
Yeah. It's called the Ice Queen. And like even like the lyrics of the songs are going in the same direction, but they are not said the same way.
Yeah,
They are said in a way where it rhymes in French and it makes sense in French. Like it sounds beautiful
that
in
sounds
this
like a
language.
really difficult job too,
It
to like
is.
translate into all these different languages in that kind of like in a way that really catches the meaning and also rhymes in the native language.
Yeah. But like it's wonderful when it works because I went to Disneyland in Paris and we went to that Frozen show where like the actor came on stage and she did the song and she sang like in seven languages. She sang the song like of Elsa like in seven different
Whoa,
languages. And that's when like you saw the beauty of it because she starts in English and you see the English audience are singing and then she goes into French and then the French are singing and then she goes into German and you see the German singing.
what the heck?
She goes in Spanish and you see the Spanish people singing and you're just like, oh my god, we
That is awesome.
yeah, like we all know that same thing and like we can all
Yeah.
share the same experience.
Huh.
She had a weird. I think she was more German. Her French was not
Uh,
the best. But we understood. But we understood it. We were like, "Oh my
yeah.
god! Like that's the same song." Um. So in terms of animes, I got into animes because of my cousins. They were into Dragon Ball Z, which I got into and I loved. My personal favorite would be okay, classical One Piece.
Hmm.
Uh, couldn't get into Naruto because parents.
So yeah, you kind of reacted negatively to that. It seems.
To what, One Piece?
Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I actually did watch Dragon Ball Z. I came in the what's his name, Frieza, I think. Yeah, that's when I first watched. I
It,
don't watch One Piece purely because the animation bugs me. So I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
I mean, it got better. Lately, it got better. I mostly like One Piece as a manga. That's something I've been following since like 2017 now. So like I'm dedicated to that. But like when I like a chapter, I want to see how it's gonna be animated.
Hmm.
So that's why I go to see like the anime, like to see that specific chapter being animated. One Piece couldn't get into Naruto because my parents thought it was from the devil. Uh, I loved Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh,
Uh,
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
That was good.
that was Brotherhood was fantastic. Hunter x Hunter. Bro, I'm an old school guy. I didn't get into the new animes today,
Hmm.
like My
You
Hero
know,
Academia. But
my anime lists have always been really kind of a mixed bag. Like, um, I'm a sucker for Trigger animations, Studio Trigger animations, and then
what do they
beyond
do?
that, I have like a bunch of random like hand-picked things. Like I have some Ghibli films. I have Cowboy Bebop. I have Trigun. You know,
Hmm.
I just reach out to what catches my eye, like whether it be like the subject matter or the animation. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
created a very odd hodgepodge of series and movies and things like that.
I do be big on anime for sure. So that was many. And then when I came in the US and actually understood English, I got into shows like Game of Thrones, Breaking
Mm.
Bad, and anything that wasn't translated that I could finally understand.
Yes. Oh
It's kind
boy.
of weird because like American songs are famous around the world, and I remember singing them like without understanding what they meant. Like you just I don't know, like you fake English essentially.
Yeah.
And then I come to understand this song, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're saying. Like you're just talking about sex the whole song.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, this song doesn't make sense at all. Like it's just a bunch of words put together.
Mm.
Okay,
Um,
well, that's what everything is, but
yeah, I mean Adele songs make sense, but
yeah.
it's kind of a poem. I like songs that make sense.
I don't think I fully appreciate like what your music tastes actually look like, or what that how that's
It's
all arranged. And I don't think you know what I listen to entirely either.
I know you listen to March Band.
Oh yeah, I do have that. You got that.
Uh, you listen to some type of rocks or something like that too.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I remember the most. At least what I saw coming most often. I don't know about your niche thing.
Yeah.
I'm going into my super mix kind of like used to see what I'm into, or at
Ah,
least
okay.
what the algorithm sees I'm into.
Yeah.
I see rock.
Okay.
I see gospel music.
Rock can mean a lot
Nice.
of things. I would like you to elaborate on rock if you can.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, what song could I?
Like,
You know the
what
song.
what time period? That's a good thing to start with. And like,
You know the song "Popular Monster."
Mm,
Falling in Reverse. There's this artist called Falling in Reverse. I love this song. I love a lot of his songs,
no, I don't know that guy. Would I know
but
that guy? Should I
deserved.
be expected to know that guy?
No. Do you know Panic at the Disco? I think they are pretty popular.
yeah, they're
Uh,
pretty popular.
only
It's on
vaguely.
the road of what I like. It's not completely what I like, but it's on that genre.
Okay.
I'm looking for it. Hang on.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I think
Oh
that's
wow,
most.
I do not know Panic at the Disco at all. I'm looking at their songs and it's just like I see nothing that I recognize at all.
You've 100% heard them just probably in like background music for
Hey,
something.
How
yeah, at
odd.
a party or like at a
Okay,
birthday.
but
How
you
about you?
listen to them. That's what you're
What you
saying.
listen to?
Hmm.
Wait, are you asking me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's your
Oh,
turn.
what do I listen to? Uh,
I know you played Skyrim soundtrack for me one time, which
that was Oblivion. Okay, we don't listen to the Skyrim
oh,
soundtrack.
okay. I thought we were listening to Skyrim at some point.
It was. I guarantee you, it's Oblivion.
Okay, well,
Because those are like my favorite songs. I do listen to Skyrim sometimes, but
yeah, I
Oblivion is
listened to
better.
Skyrim. That's good.
Laurie Anderson.
Who is she? What song?
She does like performative songs.
What does that mean?
They're like they're meant for like a show, so they're not always songs. It's really like her talking a good chunk with some instrumentation in the background. Uh, Soundtracks from Pride and Prejudice, video games. I have some My Little Pony songs on here. Because why not? Uh, Aurora. She's from Sweden, I think. She did a voice for the second Frozen movie, the really high pitched thing in some of the songs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Arrival soundtrack. I have a lot of random stuff thrown in here, though.
Yeah, me too. I have random stuff I couldn't describe. I
It sounds
forgot
like
to
you got
say
a
like,
lot.
yeah, I listen to Japanese music. Like,
I have an entire mix of Zelda songs that is 5 hours and 24 minutes worth.
Jesus Christ, that is a lot.
Wait,
And then some
what platform do
minimalistic.
you?
Oh, I use Spotify.
Okay, I also use Spotify.
Yeah,
I
YouTube.
always had a hard time finding Zelda songs on Spotify. Is it like remixes or like
You
covers?
can't find any like original
Yeah,
songs,
that's
but there
rough.
are some people who make some really good Zelda songs.
Like covers. Yeah,
Yeah, really good covers. There's
I've
this
heard
one
a few.
dude in particular, uh, Rosin, and then Theophany, which I'm sure I said that incorrectly. They make some really good Zelda music, and it made me see Majora's Mask in an entirely different way because of the music alone.
Oh,
So if you want to give that a listen, you
Yeah,
should.
okay, I might.
yeah.
And then I listened to some like minimalistic stuff that just repeats itself. I
Mm.
have one
So
song
like
that's
atmospheric stuff.
hmm,
Is it like atmospheric music?
kind
Because you
of.
said minimalist and it repeats itself.
There is a literal genre that's like minimalism,
Mm.
instrumental. It's not necessarily atmospheric, but you could count it
Okay.
ish.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a wide variety, but I don't listen to any rap and I don't listen to any country.
I don't listen to country, but I try to get into rap because a lot of my friends are into rap and they will talk about rap music and I wouldn't know what we're talking about. So it's me trying to again learn about American culture, I guess. I've given up on shows and like stars. Like I've been in so many discussions where like, oh, did you see what uh, Taylor Riley has done? Like, you look like her. Everybody in the room knows who she is, and I'm like, who is she? And be like, oh, she was in The Voice and she did this, and like, and I'm like, wow. I've given up on understanding that. I feel like music, I can still catch up. It's just again like this artist, so I'll just give it a listen and be like, okay, I know what he's about now. I can be included.
Mm.
But yeah. Oh man. Are you into sport? Any
Ooh.
sport at all?
The Olympics is like the only thing I watch.
So yeah, okay, all right. The Olympics is fun to watch, like even if you're
Yeah.
not a sports person, because like I am not huge on sports, hardly at all. Or maybe like baseball sometimes, but I will sit and watch the Olympics for like hours and not get bored of that because that's just fun.
Yeah.
And I
I
used to swim competitively, but
Mm.
swimming is boring to watch most of the time unless
There's
it's
not a
the
lot to
Olympics.
see, is there?
It's not fun watching heats of people do 200s. Like, okay.
oh no.
50s are interesting but they go by fast. But watching
Yeah.
somebody swim a mile is really boring.
You know
Oh, I
what
bet it
really
is. Oh
shocked
my god.
me last time I watched the Olympics?
What?
What?
I actually really enjoyed watching dressage, which is where they ride the horses around and like have them jump the fences. Like I was going into that thinking this is going to be exceedingly boring, like watching a dog show. And I'm going to like watch maybe like 5 minutes of this and then walk back into the kitchen or something. But I sat out there and I was like, "Ooh, this is nice." I don't know. It's hitting something with me.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I recommend everyone go and at least try to watch dressage for 5 minutes. Maybe it'll surprise you like it surprised me.
I love the sport where like they dance on the ice, like
Woo!
artistically.
Yeah.
That's always fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I love running. I just love the mechanic of it and just how fast they go. Like, is insane to me.
Mm.
Like even like the women running, like it's crazy how fast they're actually going. When you look in real speed, you're just like, but
Volleyball are really fun to watch too. I look
yeah.
forward to those every year because they're just very intense, especially the men's ones. You know, they
I've
really
always never landed on the men's ones. I always end up seeing the women's.
get. Yeah, no, like men's beach volleyball is crazy. Those guys are violent.
I, I
Shoot.
also love people throwing stuff. Just
The water
you know,
polo is kind of interesting to
Oh yeah,
watch.
it is. It looks really exhausting.
It
Water
is. It's
polo.
exhausting and it's dangerous. And
Yeah.
apparently, near one of the world wars, when they had the Olympics, two countries went against each other. There was like a bloodbath in the pool. Apparently,
Oh my.
oh my god,
somebody did something, and then people just
Wow.
started fighting.
holy
It's
crap!
it's like hockey, you know? Like I totally know what you're talking about where people get so aggressive in water polo for some reason. It is beyond
It
me.
looks like they're trying to drown each other.
Yeah,
It's
it really does. It
really
looks
scary to watch sometimes.
yeah. Yeah. Don't they do soccer in the Olympics as well?
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
You don't watch the Olympic for soccer, really.
Yeah. I did watch soccer on the Olympics just because it was on for a while,
Yeah,
and they are very competitive, you know. But I know it doesn't
yeah.
hold a candle to like FIFA and things like that.
Oh yeah, I think soccer. If you want to watch the best soccer, it's usually the European Cup. The
Mm.
Champions League is like the highest stage. It's like the biggest trophy. There are so many trophies in soccer too. Like it's not like the NBA where like there is only one trophy and one team gets it. Soccer, like a season is like judged on like how many trophies you got.
Mm.
There are trophies in your country, trophies in your city, trophies internationally, and then there is the Champions League, which is the biggest of them all.
Oh, you know those like super thin boats that they do for like rowing competitions in the Olympics?
Yeah,
Those are kind of fun to watch. I enjoy those.
Yeah,
Right?
actually, I'm thinking about also like bob. How do you call it? Bobsleigh? Like
But
you
the
know
yeah,
the
bombsleds.
yeah
Those are pretty fun. I feel like that's just a competition between engineers mostly, but it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's fast, and I'm just
yeah.
like, whoa, the it cannot go wrong.
Yeah, or like I think a close alternative to that I think is like luge, which is where it's like one guy laying down on a sled.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're talking about. I don't know.
yeah. Oh my god, this thing where they like jump ski, like
Oh yeah, the ski jump.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
gosh, this thing like makes me like I watch also accident about it. It's so bad. Like it's so just flying in the air like that, just like literally you like a plane. Like when you land, you have to land, nail that landing. And I know how difficult it is to nail just jumping. Like I tried to dunk before, and just if you don't land the right way, you twist your ankle.
hmm.
So like to jump from that high and like literally like land
Yeah,
on your feet.
yeah. Have you
So
seen the
many things.
cross country skiers? Like after they're done skiing for like a couple miles, they just like collapse. They look like dead animals. Horrible. Like I found a compilation on YouTube of like cross country skiers finishing their races, and oh my gosh, I have never seen a person more exhausted and like I've never seen someone ragdoll so hard. You know, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm gonna
Oh my.
send that to you after we're done with the podcast, so you can look at
Yeah.
it because it's just amazing.
Ooh. Actually, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, we might want
Yeah,
to wrap it up. We're at
Mhm.
2 hours and 30 minutes, me and Cadmiel. But
yeah. Actually, we might just get out to the part where Tehya comes in. I don't even feel. We were
oh,
just
really?
rounding up before you came,
Mm.
and I mean, I'll re-listen to that.
Okay,
But
I'll leave it up to you. But I think that was a good segment. The first 30 minutes.
that's a good 2 hour.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming, Tehya. I
yeah,
mean,
thank
of course, we
you.
are not hanging out the call after we're done, but
Yeah,
if we,
Thanks for asking.
it's very fun having people on to chat with.
yeah,
It's fun to chat with people since I don't really chat with anybody. Well, I mean, I chat with some. I'm not that secluded, but you know.
Yeah,
all right, people. We'll see you and stay humble, I guess.
yeah. Adios, everyone.